You're good.
Okay, I'd like to open up the planning board meeting. Board of Adjustment meeting. Thank you. Purpose of this hearing is for the item number V 25.02.01 to request a variance. This item will be heard in a quasi-judicial matter, and the town's staff will describe the process.
Yeah, we do have an agenda as well, right up on the board. The first item would be to call the meeting to order. I'm going to zoom in up here, and then you'll have the minutes afterwards. Yep, so you just need to call the meeting to order.
Meeting's all order.
There we go, and then minutes.
Approval of the minutes of 10/17/2023.
Motion, we approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 3, V 25.02.01, variance of 3120 Gribble Avenue Road, PID number 07129332, to request relief from Article
2.19-1.
oh, right, there's a dot there, 2.19-1 of Stallings Development Ordinance.
And I can go into detail about it during my presentation if you'd like. So we haven't had a Board of Adjustment since 2023. Excuse me, I meant to say 2023. I don't know why I said 2023.
We knew that, but we didn't want to embarrass you.
So I did hear that we do have a script, and I'm legally going to have to read all of it, just so we put everything on record about what we are expecting tonight. And then I do have a presentation as well that's in the drive as well. So what I'm going to say is, so qualify members under conflict of interest and pre-hearing bias rules. Does any member of the board have a fixed opinion prior to this hearing that is not susceptible to change? And I need a vote from, or yes or no from everybody.
No.
Okay. All right. So has any member of the board had any communications about this matter before tonight's hearing?
No.
Okay. Does any member of the board have a close familial, business, or other associational relationship with a person affected by this application?
No.
Okay. Does any member of the board have financial interest in the outcome of the matter?
No.
Okay. All right. So does the applicant, which is here tonight, wish to challenge any member of the board on the grounds supporting disqualification to sit for this hearing? No. Okay. And is there anyone present that wishes to challenge any member of the board on grounds supporting disqualification for this meeting? Okay. All right. And then, since there are 5 members, I don't have to read the next section. So I am going to read number 4, and this is quite long, so bear with me. So after the chair opens the quasi-judicial hearing, it will proceed as follows. All parties who intend to give testimony or present evidence of any sort, pro or con, must complete the oath form and be sworn in by the clerk to the board or the chair. As staff member, a staff member will briefly explain the zoning ordinance provisions at the issue in this hearing, so that will be myself. The board may question the staff member, and then the applicant will be given an opportunity to question the staff member. The applicant or the representative will present their case for why they believe they are entitled to receive the variance they have applied for. The burden of proof to establish each element of the requirements in state law and the town's zoning ordinance is on the applicant. The board and the town staff may question the applicant and each of the applicant's witnesses. At the conclusion of the applicant's presentation, if anyone else who has standing in the case may present sworn testimony in support of the application. At the conclusion of all testimony in favor of the application, anyone with a standing wishing to present sworn testimony in opposition to the application or to ask questions of the applicant may present their testimony or evidence. Okay, one second. The applicant may present evidence or a closing argument in rebuttal to any testimony in opposition to the application or provide additional information based on the questions raised if they so choose. But I don't believe there's anybody here from that to oppose it in the audience, excuse me. At the close of all evidence and argument, the chair will close the hearing. After all evidence, testimony, and argument has been presented, the board will review the matter, deliberate on the required findings of fact, and render a decision in the form of a motion to approve the variance, approve the variance with conditions, or deny the variance. This will be done without further comment from any party. The board may elect to defer the decision to another meeting. All exhibits and physical evidence introduced at the hearing must remain with the town as part of the official record of the hearing. That's what we provided you right now before the meeting, and the applicant did submit that, and we'll have it submitted as evidence in the record. So do not introduce any photos, drawings, writings, or any physical evidence that they're not willing to part with. And then please hand in any exhibits or physical evidence to the clerk, who will mark it as for inclusion in the record of this hearing, which they have done so. If the decision of the board is not appealed to Superior Court, you may ask the clerk to return your items. The board is acting as in a quasi-judicial capacity for the purposes of this hearing and can only accept sworn testimony. While the board will not specifically exclude hearsay evidence, it is given little or no weight in the board's decision. Appeal of any decision made by the board on this application is to Superior Court in Union County. Any aggrieved party withstanding will have 30 days from that date of the board's written decision in which to appeal to receive a written copy of the decision. Any party must file a written request with the clerk of the board or the chair no later than 5 p.m. tomorrow. So after I'm done, but every Board of Adjustments meeting, I'm gonna have to read all that. So just bear with me on that.
All right, we're now ready to open the hearing. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Anyone? Will those who plan to give testimony this evening please come forward and be sworn in?
If you want to get sworn in? Okay, so you will not be able to speak tonight, just so we'll have to come up here. And you can read that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, please raise your right hand and place the left hand on the Bible and repeat after me. Okay. I state your name.
Thomas Harris,
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear that the testimony I shall give the board
solemnly swear that the testimony I shall give to the board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
So I'll present first. Yeah. All right, so then, hello, again. So we'll go back through item number 4, and we'll go through A through I, just so you guys are aware of what the process that we're doing. And I have a presentation today. Okay, so this is variance hearing 250201 for Harris Auto. The applicant, the Moser Group or Harris Auto, requests a variance at 3120 Gribble Road, parcel ID 071293332, to request relief from Article 2.19-1 of the Stallings Development Ordinance. 2.19-1 reads as sidewalks required. Sidewalks shall be required along new and existing streets in accordance with the provisions of section 13.2-3, fronting the following new development and expansions of and improving to existing development. Additionally, sidewalks shall be required in the following circumstances. I think the primary one is A. No, the primary one is A, all new commercial development. Auto repair, which is Harris Auto, is considered commercial development. There are a few other letters underneath that do not apply to this type of business, but A is the one they're requesting alleviation from. The current conditions on the site is vacant. There used to be homes on the site. I think they were, I actually do not know the exact date of when they were removed, but I think it was 2018 to 2019, but that's irrelevant. The site's now vacant. Additionally, these are views from facing Stallings Road and away from Stallings Road. If you would like me to show a Google Maps view, I can, but the property is vacant currently. The property is zoned industrial, and it currently has an approved concept or site development plan for an auto repair business. They have also submitted construction documents. Staff has fully reviewed the construction documents, and we do not have any additional comments, but we are awaiting, I can't remember at the moment if they have NCDEQ approval, but we are awaiting at least Union County Public Works sewer capacity approval an extension letter from the county so that we can approve the construction documents. Without the NCDOT, NCDEQ, and UCPW approvals, staff cannot approve construction documents. If their variance was passed tonight, they would have to revise their plans to show no sidewalk on the site. And I will also show you the site plan later in another slide. So there are specific statements of justification that I'd like the applicant to present first before we go over each of these. But I did want to go to the overall site plan. As you can see, they are on Gribble Road. They are required to put a sidewalk. They've met all of the town's ordinances in this plan with parking, landscaping, building placement, and they also do include the sidewalk on the plan at this moment. Does the board have any questions for me about this request?
Yes, do any of the additional properties along this stretch have sidewalk in front of them?
Yeah, thank you for asking. No, they do not. So I actually pulled up a Go Maps showing current conditions. There is currently no sidewalk along Gribble Road, including when it goes into Indian Trail as well.
Has staff done any projections on the likelihood that there would be a continuous sidewalk along that stretch in the future?
Not that I'm aware of for Gribble Road. We do have a plan for Stallings Road, and there are plans for a sidewalk bump out along Stallings Road into Gribble, but that's currently not built yet. And that's something that Atrium Hospital is going to have to do as part of their transportation improvements. Additionally, Planning Board recommended approval of a conditional zoning last month at 3025 Gribble Road, which is very close to this property across the street. And they're requesting alleviation from the sidewalk with that conditional zoning. So this is just another method to request alleviation from that sidewalk. The other applicant did a different method. And this is the site here.
So what you're saying is the green part is Indian Trail?
Correct.
Okay.
And pink is Stallings.
Okay. So if they decide, just a question down the road, to put in a sidewalk for their, because there's a resident that's facing residential, correct?
Could you ask again? Excuse me.
I said if Indian Trail decides to put a sidewalk in where there is none on their side, that behoove us to have to do the same, or it doesn't matter at that point?
So it would not, because they would, if, let's say this variance was passed, we would not require anybody to build that sidewalk.
Okay.
I looked at Indian Trail's website. I don't have very in-depth knowledge of their sidewalks,
Okay.
but I do not believe they have any plans to put sidewalk on Gribble Road at this time.
Cool.
So following up on that, Max, so if I'm reading this right, the pink area between the two green areas, that's Stallings, correct?
Correct.
The red outline is the property in consideration tonight.
Correct.
And those two vacant lots are in between Indian Trail.
Yeah, this green is Indian Trail right next to it.
Even if there were a continuous sidewalk, it would only, by Stallings zoning ordinance, it would not have to continue beyond,
Correct.
so we would have, okay.
It would just be on their property. We would not require the applicant, or the developer, to build upon more, because it's not that kind of application. This one's a by right and allowed use in that zoning category.
So, was the potential segmented sidewalk considered when the zoning was applied to this area that you know of?
I believe that, I actually don't know of anything like that. I would say this property was rezoned to industrial back in 2018 when we did a mass rezoning of the whole entire town, because this is a automotive repaired area.
Okay.
I don't believe there's any sidewalk plans specifically for that zoning category.
So the potential functionality or non-functionality of the sidewalk, would that be considered an evidentiary decision, or would that be opinion that we're not allowed to consider?
Could
in
you,
our decision?
could you ask that in another way? Like,
If a sidewalk is put there, are we allowed to consider that that sidewalk may not be valuable, provide any value to the community?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that evidence? Okay, okay.
I would say that could be considered evidence, just have a specific reason to why. And I can help you with that specifically, because it's adjacent Indian Trail. Indian Trail does not have a plan for sidewalk in the future.
Been any studies on if there were a sidewalk on that whole stretch, would it be utilized by the community?
We do not have a study in that nature. I do think engineering, I just don't know, sorry, I know it's a lot of thinking, but engineering does have a sidewalk study. I don't remember what Gribble Road says. Okay, well, the applicant is also here to present their case. I did want to pull up, I just wanted to show you before you come up here. I have your pictures right here.
Yes, sir.
And then I have, whenever you're ready to show the video, let me click on it. I'll click on it for you.
Let's start with the video.
Yeah, okay. And then just state your name for the minutes.
Thomas Harris.
That was, okay. I know, I apologize. I need to figure out how to open this real quick. I didn't do it on this computer. Oh, here we go.
This is coming towards Stallings from Indian Trail, just stating that there is no sidewalk on the road. Everything is all industrial, mostly repair shops, car dealerships. You have the Duke Power right there, bunch of repair shops on the right side. And so as far as use goes, I wouldn't imagine that would be walked down ever. I'm not allowed to say how high. There would be no use for walking on a sidewalk that connects to nowhere. The property next to the one in question at 3120 Gribble Road is a property that does not allow building on it, as the setbacks do not require anything, or you are not allowed to build on that property itself. So in between the Indian Trail piece and the other Indian Trail piece, there's two properties on the road, the one in question and the other one. The other one is not able to be built on and is owned by the L-shaped one behind it. There is a drop-off, if we pull up the picture.
I can do it. Scroll up and
Yeah,
down.
absolutely. So this first one is showing there's a 24-inch area that when it ends of how you would get to the road. So you're essentially gonna, well, you would have to be brushing shoulders with rear view mirrors or side view mirrors. The way the property's set up, the second one's a better one. It's gonna be about 46 inches high where the sidewalk ends to where it drops off into the piece that's closest from Indian Trail. So you'll walk down a sidewalk that then drops off about 46 inches. You have a lot of theft on that road across the street, including myself in the past. Theft of vehicles, catalytic converters, et cetera. It's not something anybody really wants on the street, I would imagine. People walking down the road. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, it goes back to the theft thing. So then there are multiple reports of theft, if we pull them up on the street of Gribble Road over the past year, that, or 2 and 3, it's been a lot, from multiple businesses.
The number or anything?
I can appeal it and get another number from Stallings. So this, I guess, is the only sidewalk on Gribble Road, and that's across from Duke Power. So essentially a sidewalk to nowhere.
And that piece is an Indian Trail, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
that's what I thought.
So your point is that, excuse me, with the sidewalk, you would have more walking traffic and have a
Yeah,
increased liability of crime.
Yes, that would be assuming that it ever would get connected. But there absolutely, I mean, the easier, more accessible that business is, there would be about $1 million worth of cars sitting there
And you're talking about the drop off, like the road?
No, ma'am,
highways?
so just where it
I mean, like,
goes
so you'd be
to,
walking like down here and
Yes.
the road's up here? Is that what you're
no,
saying?
so you'd have to go from the sidewalk where that property is. It's
Oh.
uneven and it's gonna drop.
Got it.
And would definitely be a liability right in front of the business. Because I guess technically that would be the property owner's problem, because it would not be, it's not to the street. Like I said, the one property to the right of it, not the Indian Trail property, is unbuildable, and would be, guess that's it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the witness?
Site plan again, please?
Currently just awaiting those permits from other state entities and the county.
Grade change that you're speaking of is from left to right on the plan there or from right to left?
It would be left to, or
So this is facing north.
it's coming this way. So, right to left, right to left. Into the Indian Trail piece. And then, I guess, due also to some of the requirements of the build, there would be a drop-off on the right side as well, too. So unless everything was connected, you're gonna have a drop-off on both sides. It's not gonna be 46 inches on the, as the same on the left, but there will be a substantial one on the right.
Is there, at this time, or any plans for any fence to be on the property?
There, yes, required. But speaking of fences, I'm kind of curious as to what kind will be required, as due to the two buildings up on the corners fences look terrible.
Going back to what you were saying about the theft option that's going on.
Yeah, the theft option, they have cut the fences of two properties that I know of on Gribble Road, or I can't say two properties definitively. No one on the road that owns businesses on the Gribble Road would like foot traffic.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have now concluded the portion of the hearing where the applicant has presented the message, evidence to the board. The board will now proceed to the discussion and decision portion of the process. No one is permitted to address the board during this portion of tonight's meeting. However, everyone is permitted to remain present and listen quietly to the board's discussion and vote.
Well, I'll just put in my 2 cents.
Try 3 cents.
Okay. I have traveled that road many times.
Walked?
I have walked and rode a bicycle down that road, and it's very
Okay.
scary. That's all I have to say. But only reason I did that was because I dropped off a car to be fixed. Thought I was going to have the smart idea of riding a bike home, and I wished I'd never done that. But it is a very, I would not want to walk down that road, just personally, just because, and I shouldn't say that, but you got the Duke power trucks going up and down, and and you got a lot of car traffic and just general truck.
Would the sidewalk in front of this property make any difference?
No, because there's no other sidewalk anywhere else, and I just don't see that being a walkable neighborhood.
Are those streetlights on there?
No, they do not, do they?
I'm not aware of
I think there
streetlights.
might be personal business, but I've driven down there at night, and I don't remember streetlights other than what people had in their parking lots.
Parking
You know, I
lights.
Duke Power
Okay.
has some, I mean, because, you know, around theirs,
Okay.
because they're going in and out all hours of the night.
Sure.
But I don't remember, everything else is pretty dark.
I think
The
based
po-
on
the point is, you know, the sidewalk is a big chunk of the road
Right,
in front of that property, but there's nothing on either side
right.
Yeah,
Which is, yeah,
And the
or
fact that it's-
anywhere.
And the fact that it's bracketed by Indian Trail on both sides.
both sides, right.
Even strict compliance with all the properties along Gribble Road, this particular sidewalk, we don't have any jurisdiction over the Indian Trail property.
Would go nowhere.
So it would not have any,
Yeah.
it would
not
not
going
serve the township of Stallings to
Yeah.
strictly
Most people
enforce
wouldn't even
that
know it's in
zoning.
Stallings.
Yeah.
Right, right.
yeah. And the amount of traffic, I will add that I, just the way I drive at the moment and the way my neighbors drive, I know we all turn right and turn right and turn right to get back to Indian Trail. So there'll be traffic on that road when, especially when they start four-laning Monroe Road.
Monroe.
It's not gonna be, and I don't see the need for sidewalks really on that road.
In front of that property.
Yeah,
That's all you're talking
it makes
about,
no
is that
sense at this,
particular piece.
at this
Right.
time, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe in 20 years.
Okay.
I just,
Any other questions? Or any other discussion?
Good.
If you don't mind, Chair, may I say something?
I'm sorry?
May I say something?
Sure.
Okay. So just so you know, we do have to vote on each statement of justification. Each statement of there's 4, and each one has to be an approval for the variance to pass. If any statement of justification is denied, the variance will be denied. But at the end of all the statements, you also have to make a formal motion to approve or deny it anyways.
yeah.
So, would you like me to go over the statement of justification so you guys can vote on it?
Sure.
Okay. So the first statement of justification, oh, I thought you raised your hand.
We will now
there we
review
go.
each required finding and vote on whether the finding has been approved, been proven to be competent material and substantial evidence.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one, I'm gonna read everything verbatim. So a necessary hardship would result from the strict application of the ordinance. Expense is not a valid hardship. So I wrote the applicant's response verbatim. So given the type of materials we have on site, I think thieving is a big concern. I think that's what it means. We have lots of thieving at our other locations. The surrounding properties do not have any sidewalks, so there is nothing to connect to, and the grade surrounding the property prevents future connections easily. You guys can go ahead and vote on this unnecessary hardship, or we can move on to the next one. You can come back to this. It's up to the chair after deliberation.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
All in, feel that it's unnecessary hardship?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so all 5.
Right.
Okay. All right, so the next one, so the first one's an affirmative. Okay. The hardship results from conditions that are peculiar to the property, such as location, size, or topography. And the response from the applicant, the location of this site does not have any sidewalks along the entire length of Gripple Road.
That and the bracketing of Indian Trail, that's.
Good.
Aye.
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 So all 5 in affirmative?
Yeah.
Okay. The hardship did not result from the actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. True. That's what the applicant said.
Aye.
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 All approved.
Okay. And the last statement is the requested variance is consistent with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the ordinance such that public safety is secured and substantial justice is achieved. And the response from the applicant is yes, removing the sidewalk would prevent people from walking along Gribble Road where there is no sidewalk.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aye.
All 5 in affirmative?
Unanimous.
Okay. Okay. So the next step would be just to make an overall, number 12. Yeah. So for you to read number 12.
13?
Oh, is it 13?
12.
12.
We now concluded a portion of the hearing where the applicant and
Oh,
others.
I have a different number 12, sorry.
No, it's 13.
Oh.
Read 13.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I
just,
think yours in a different order. This is just the call for a motion.
We'll call for motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, mine's different, I apologize.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve or deny the variance?
Move that we approve the variance.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
You've all signed
all right. Good, you can adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn, if you want.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Closed.
All right.